Good morning, everybody. Charlie here with Red Summit RF. Today I am continuing my series on portable Morse Code paddles. Welcome back to the channel to those of you who have been following along. And if you're new to the channel, I welcome you and hope you enjoy these videos. Today I'll be featuring the GHD GM702 palm-sized travel iambic paddle. Before I jump into the review, let me remind you to check out the comments below for each video, because there's some great material there that supplements what I say about these paddles. So let's get over to the bench and take a look at this new paddle I have. GHD is a paddle manufacturer out of Japan, and from what I can tell, GHD does not sell their paddles direct. The two companies that I know that carry the GHD line are Vibroplex and DX Engineering. At the time of this recording, the GM702 travel paddle was selling for $169.95 plus shipping from both vendors. I picked up mine at the Vibroplex booth at Hamvention to save shipping costs. Online descriptions of the GM702 palm-sized travel iambic paddle say it is a very compact model, but I guess it depends on what you compare it to. It has a retractable paddle. Let me see if I can switch this around here. So you unscrew this thumb screw and then you can slide it in and out right here. This offers some protection against these paddles here, the two paddles here, to keep it from breaking. This is especially important because while most of the paddles is metal, these levers themselves are made of an acrylic material, it looks like. Let me get the Pico palm out here and show you that. This GM702 weighs 113 grams with the cable compared to the Pico palm at 31 grams with the cable. So this paddle is maybe a little too heavy for portable operations. I guess it's okay, but it's I guess approaching the heavy side. It is about 3 times the width of the Pico palm and about 1.5 times the depth. It's about the same height though, so you can see height about the same, width about a third, and then a 1.5 as long as the Pico. To make adjustments to this paddle, you have to remove the thumb screw and slide the paddle out of its protective covering. So I'm going to do that right now. You have to take it all the way out, the screw. So I'm going to take it and set it aside here. And then it slides out. It's upside down now, but there you have what it looks like when it's out of the protective covering. The manufacturer's description says that the, quote, contact spacing and spring tension, unquote, can be adjusted, but I could not find anywhere where the adjustment of the tension could take place. It looks like there is not a way to do the tension adjustment. So it might be, I don't know whether it's misleading or I just can't see where that is to take place. The contact spacing is adjusted with these 2 screws here, but I found that it is really very tedious to use because there is a poor precision on these adjustments. So you can see kind of how they are. When it comes to mounting this, there really is nothing that's been provided for this paddle. I suppose since it's a case that's made out of metal, you might find a magnet to attach to it and then attach that to the radio, but really there's nothing provided as far in the way of mounting this paddle. As I mentioned earlier, I could not locate the tension adjustment, and frankly it appears as though the tension is simply a function of the flexibility of these acrylic levers here, because they are a little bit of flexibility there. The cable is already built into the paddle, but I think I'm a little disappointed maybe because look how thin it is. I mean, this is the cable that I usually use for, this is the same size for almost everything that I use, and you can see that it's much thinner. You know, you might think, well, we want a thinner one so that it doesn't take up as much space or as much weight, but I really was worried about this and still am breaking or being smashed, or not smashed, but clipped in some way because it's so thin. And I'd really prefer a bigger one, but I guess that's just personal preference. I keep it in this case here, and one time or several times when I put it in there, this was like popping off into the edge just a little bit, and I really was worried that, when I shut it, that it was going to clip that and break it right off. To purchase these paddles, you can visit either Vibroplex or DX Engineering. They both are reputable companies, and there is no real cost difference between the two of them. And so with that, let's go ahead and get going on my grades for this. And again, as always, I emphasize that these are my thoughts, and others may have thoughts and opinions that vary. This is based on my use case, how I prefer my paddles. And so I'll move this over like this out of the way, and we can put all the grades right here. So first of all, the cost. I give the cost a D. While the paddles work okay, and I was able to send accurately with them, I was really quite disappointed in the design, especially the lack of tension adjustment and the poor contact adjustment. I have buyer's remorse in paying $170 for these paddles, and I didn't even have to pay for shipping. They really are not worth near that much, in my opinion. Durability. I'm going to give it a B probably for durability. I think most of the paddle is made from metal. The acrylic levers and the thin cable are of concern to me, but overall I think it'll last a long time if you take care of it. As far as the weight of this paddle goes, it is a little on the heavy side, but you would expect that with metal parts. It's a little higher weight than I would be maybe comfortable with. It's okay though, and that higher weight, with that higher weight comes durability. So for the weight, I give it a C. As far as the size goes, you can see how it compares to the Pico Palm, and so I definitely think it's a little too big, and so I'm going to give it a C as well. It's about average. I guess it's not too big, but it's about average. Agility. For the agility of this paddle, I think it's going to be probably a C as well. I can send pretty accurately with the paddle, but it feels a little floppy or a little spongy. So since it feels that way, I'm just going to give it a C. There are other paddles that feel much better than this one that I've reviewed, but there are some that are much worse too. So it's right in the middle. As far as customer service goes, I'll give it a B because I know that Vibroplex is a reputable company. I'm not quite so sure about about the company GHD. I don't know who they are, but really I'm buying from Vibroplex, and they stand by the product. So customer service is a B, but I do feel like I had a little bit too much pressure at Dayton to buy now before they all sold out. I only found out later that there was no shortage, and the guy was making it sound like they were going to run out. So I guess I could blame myself for this one, for it being an impulse buy. Enclosure. Just like with the last paddle that I did, it is not fully enclosed. You'll see, you can see right through there. There's no full enclosure. It's just it's just a box with the two ends open. So because of that, I am going to give that a fail, and that's just because I'm being consistent. It is a very durable outer covering, but it isn't fully enclosed, so it's a fail. Because I remind you, we were just doing pass-fail on this grade. As far as mounting goes, honestly, I'm just going to give it an F. There's, there wasn't even really an attempt at all to provide any type of mounting options. There are some that you can do for yourself if you have a little bit of creativity. But that's you. I mean, that's on you. I mean, the company itself has provided nothing in that way or in that area. So it's a fail. There's nothing there. So mounting is an F. Beauty, I think it is a decent design, has a pretty good look, and it's pretty elegant and clean looking. So because of that, I'll give it a B. Okay, so that wraps it up. That is it for this paddle. That kind of sums up my thoughts. Let me just open it up one more time and give you a shot of the insides. Take this thumb screw out, pull it out here, and as you can see, we have the posts, but really no way to do flexibility. This piece right here is really just a solid piece. So I can't see anything in the way of tension. So with that, let's go ahead and get this thing plugged into a keyer oscillator and see if we can send some Morse code and show you what it looks like. All right, here we go with sending a little bit for you guys on this paddle. So that is the GHD GM702. If I haven't made it clear, this was an impulse buy that I'm disappointed in, and I really am not happy that I made this purchase. Yes, you can take those acrylic paddles and slide them inside the protective metal casing. It's pretty durable. Yes, I have the ability to send pretty accurately with this paddle, but absolutely no mounting options, and the adjustment of these paddles, it's really lacking. What there is just the contact spacing, and it's really inadequate. And most importantly, really for what you get, the price is entirely too high. I appreciate you joining me for another portable Morse code paddle feature. Don't forget, this is a series, and so there'll be another paddle feature in a few weeks. And I hope you come on back. I hope you've enjoyed this, and thank you for your support on my channel. I'll say 73 to you. Bye-bye.